I was not passionate about it. I got a lot of referrals from my mom, and just kind of picked up some slack where, she was too busy and she would have overflow by.
Amanda for joining me for my agent interview. Um, so Amanda is, as well as myself, with Coldwell Banker. We are located in Westchester, Ohio. And yeah, Amanda, thank you so much for joining me. And us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a real estate agent, surprise, serving greater Cincinnati and the Dayton areas. I have been selling since 2007. Not always in Cincinnati. I started out in the southeastern Ohio market. So, a very different market. The average home sale when I left that area was right around $80,000. So, you had to sell a lot more to make any money. And then I moved down to the North Carolina market for a few years and then ended up back here in Cincinnati. Started actively selling in 2018 here.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, 80,000. Wow.
I know. That was like a nice house.
Yeah, so how was the North Carolina market for you?
So in North Carolina, I just did mostly BPOs, a lot of bank appraisals. I wasn't like actively out hustling, selling like I am now. Yeah. And I was
Okay.
also working for the Navy Marine Relief Corps Society, coaching first time buyers, helping service members with their budgets in order to get ready, prepared to purchase.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm still real estate related, so
yes.
that's amazing. So, I know that I gave you a whole bunch of questions. We're not going to be able to get to them all, so I'll kind of cherry pick them. Um, and any other information that you want to share, you're more than welcome.
Okay.
But so why did you become a real estate agent?
So I got my license because my mom thought it would be a good idea. My mom is an agent. Um, my brother is also an agent, but my mom's been an agent since I was a little kid and I was in college, waitressing, working like as an assistant at a hair salon, just kind of, all over the place. I was helping my mom as well as her assistant, but I wasn't really into it. I was just kind of doing things just to make the money, just to pay the bills. And so she thought, especially I was in school for poli sci, so political science. And she suggested, to do something more realistic, get your real estate license. That way you have something to fall back on. And that's kind of how it started.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that your mom was a real estate. Is she still
Yeah.
actively selling?
She is active. She has been a
Okay.
top producing agent since the 80s. So
Oh,
she has been selling
wow.
for a long time. Yeah. In that market where you have to sell, I mean, you can sell 50 homes and be around $1 million. I mean, like you have to sell a
Yeah.
lot of property there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so she's still on the east side of like
Southeastern
eastern
Ohio. So it's
southeast.
Scioto County,
Oh,
um,
okay.
like West Virginia bordering border town. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, she paved the way for you, obviously, because I know that you're a top producing agent. So you definitely got, a lot of her, top producing skills from. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. So how do you, and I know like for a lot of agents like myself, like I have so many like the amount of showings that I have and buyers and running around that I have to do. How do you balance your real estate work life and your private life? Like how do you find that balance?
So at this point in my career, I really try to keep my weekends open. I try to put all of my appointments in through the week. I do have two children. My son is in the Navy. He is a meteorologist in the Navy, so he's not at home. I don't have to worry about running around for him anymore. And then I have a daughter who's a sophomore at Lakota West. So she's about to be driving. Um, I really just, when I set my schedule, I just really try to just make sure that I have enough time to get from A to B throughout the week if it's something to do with my daughter or a personal appointment. Um, and then I also try to refer out if I already have obligations and I know I have a
Mhm.
full work day or I have a full work week. If the prospect is willing, I will try to refer them out to another agent so that they get the attention that they need.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that and that's great that you can like have your weekends free. I know a lot of, new agents starting out, they may not be full time. So it might be a little tricky for them. Like, so when you started, when you became an agent, did you go in full time? Like, did you, full time right out the gate, or did you eventually, become full time after being part time?
So when I first started, I was not motivated. I was not passionate about it. I got a lot of referrals from my mom, and just kind of picked up some slack where she was too busy and she would have overflow buyer clients, and smaller properties that she felt that I could easily handle, and it was more so just, just a check. And that is honest, like when I first got my license in 2007. um, but after leaving Ohio and then coming back again to the Cincinnati market is completely different, even from the Dayton market. It is very competitive and it's a whole business. I mean, agents are on billboards, they have commercials, you see it,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. I mean, I know agents that spend 20,000, 30,000 a month on marketing alone here in Cincinnati. So you have to
Right.
be all in it or you're not gonna do much. So that's just kind of like when my mindset changed and I, kind of jumped in and made it like, okay,
Mhm.
you got to wake up in the morning, you got to do this, you got to do this.
Right. Right. You have to set a schedule for yourself. You have to, like, if you don't work in your business, you're going to go hungry and you're going to go back to working, a full-time job. So having that dedication, having that drive, yes, get up in the morning, have a schedule, have a routine, stick
Yes.
to it. It's very, very important because like I got kids and they expect 3 meals a day. Okay. I got bills and they want their money. So yes, like get up and work on your business in your business. So with that, like what advice would you give to someone starting out like a new agent? Like what advice would you give them?
I would say, first of all, obviously everything you learn in real estate school is useless, right? I mean, you're not really, it's you got to memorize the questions to pass the test, but when you get out here in the real world, don't waste your money on leads, don't buy leads.
Mhm.
Lead generation is trash. You can find your own leads on social media. You can, walk around your own neighborhood and talk to people and find better leads than what you're going to pay for. So just the grinding, staying like relevant, staying in front of people. Yeah, don't waste your money on leads. That would be the best thing. And it's not as easy as it looks. I know this is a generation where we've got all the real estate reality shows, and we even have agents who are like celebrity agents online, right? They
Yeah,
have
yeah,
thousands and thousands of followers on Instagram, but when you look at their sales are either average or below average. You know what I mean? So you kind
yeah,
of just have to find your own niche, and people
yeah.
will want to work with you, because they like you and they want to be around you. You'll find people who are similarly like-minded and on the same page. So just be yourself. That would be the best advice.
That's awesome advice. I totally agree. So, let's shift over to, clients, buyers, sellers. Like, what would be the ideal client for you? Like, what does an
The
ideal
ideal
client look like for you?
Yes, the ideal client is someone who they reach out to me because they value my my professional
Mm.
opinion, right? They want to
Right.
work with you. There's a difference between someone who calls you and they're like, "Hi, I'm thinking about selling my house. I'm interviewing a few agents." You know what I mean? They're
Mhm.
shopping around, and that's fine. But there's also that client who calls you and they say, "Hey, I've heard great things about you." Or I was referred
Yeah.
to you, and I really want your help with this. I need your help with this. I know you can do it. So a client who is motivated and they respect your business and what you do.
Next question. So what advice would you give someone who wants to buy but is hesitating?
I tell buyers that ask me, like, is it a good time to buy? It is always a good time to buy whenever you can afford it and you need or you want to move. I mean, there's never like a better time than the other. If you can afford the payment, then rates don't matter. I mean, look at the payment. Um, yeah, I mean, don't wait for it. If you wait around, I mean, the waiting game is not going to be your friend. But yeah, just always your buy whenever you can afford it.
Hmm. Right. And I know for those, we had that whole, low interest rate and people wanted to wait, and those people are sick pretty much right now because they're like, oh my God, could have had like a 2.3 interest rate. Now it's at 7. But honestly, don't look at the interest rate, when it drops again. You can always refinance it. You know, it's always better to buy a home, own a home versus renting because
Mhm.
you're not like you're I don't want to say you're throwing away your money, but you are paying for your landlord's mortgage. Like they own that property. You have no ownership. So
Yeah.
buying is always a good thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the I mean rents are inflated as well. So I mean either way you're going to be paying a higher cost to live. So you just have to look at your budget and um yeah, just
Yeah,
buy whenever the time is right and it's within your budget.
right. Absolutely. Shifting over to sellers, what are some quick and inexpensive ways that they can do when they are thinking about putting their home on the market? So they don't have a big budget to do all these repairs, but they can do some inexpensive updates. What are some of those things that they can do?
Yeah, so deep cleaning is a huge one. Deep clean the house, shampoo the carpets, get it smelling good. Smell is a big part of the aesthetic. Um, Paint, that's pretty affordable. It's a couple dollars per square foot. If you do it yourself, you're only paying for the paint. And then your curb appeal. So updating the address numbers on the outside of the house, painting the front door, putting some new hardware on that. That gives the impression, right, that the whole house is well taken care of, meticulously maintained. Those are really affordable ways. And then also, we have the Real Vitalize program at Coldwell Banker. If you
Right,
do need to
right.
make some repairs, say you need some plumbing work, electrical, something that's very important, HVAC, your AC stopped running, we have the program that will help you cover those costs up front, and then the seller can pay us back at closing, no fees, no markup. So a little plug there for that.
Yeah, I've been to two brokerages, and there's not a program that I've never heard of the program, like a brokerage actually offering that to their sellers. So it is a phenomenal program. And if anyone wants any more information on that, you can reach out to me or Amanda. I will include Amanda's contact information in the description. So by all means, reach out to her or myself. So we can do a couple more questions. So why did you choose Coldwell Banker as your broker?
Right. So I bounced around to a few different brokerages up here in Cincinnati. My first brokerage that I was licensed with, and the brokerage that I grew up in, like I literally grew up in a real estate office, was a little mom and pop, independently owned by a gentleman named John Eastep. He has passed away, but he had just a little office on the west side of Portsmouth, Ohio, where I grew up. And that's what I was looking for when I first came here. I thought that's where I would fit in better. And I tried a couple of different brokerages. I'm not going to mention their names, but it was not a good fit. Um, I didn't feel welcome. I didn't feel like I had any support. Um, when Coldwell Banker reached out to me, obviously the Coldwell Banker name is like a legacy. They've been around for hundreds of years. And um, just the stats and the office location was a big plus for me. I mean, I could walk to the office from where I live. But over the years, I think we've developed a really good team there, from our admin to our management. Everyone is always available. They bend over backwards and do anything that they can to help you. Um, and obviously, having the Coldwell Banker name, I don't care what anybody says, having that name beside you and the reputation and all the resources, it does not only help you when you're presenting to get new clients, but it helps that client, as we're representing their property or them,
Right.
because they can benefit from the resources too. It's not just for agents, it's for our clients, just like the Revitalize program and all the in-office, the insurance, the lending. So I think we have a lot to offer. So the reputation is why I went to Caldwell.
Reputation was huge for me too, switching. And I just know that when I traveled throughout Cincinnati, I always saw the blue and white signs. So it was
Yeah.
like they are doing something different. So let me go ahead and, see what it's all about. And I switched, and I'm happy I made that switch. So one more question. What, as a real estate agent, what was your best year? What was your worst year? And you don't have to share any financial things, just, share, as far as how many transactions you may have closed from your best to your worst year.
So I'm not the best with keeping track of the numbers and the amount of transactions, to be honest. But I know that my worst years were the years that I was not passionate about what I'm doing. When I was just doing it because my mom said that I should get a license and because she has, extra clients that she can't help right now. So those were what I say are the worst years, because I was not all in it, and
Hmm.
I felt annoyed at times going on appointments. Um, and my best years have been, is every year gets better now. Since
Good.
2017, 18, 2018, every year gets better. So I'm going to say this year is my best year. If you want to look at it financially, it's projected to be the best year. Um, and I'm just continuing to just build my brand and get my name out there more and more. So this is my best year, and my worst year was like the first few that
Right.
I started.
Right. Right. So you're doing a phenomenal job. I thank you for agreeing to do this interview. And your energy is phenomenal. I feel very privileged and honored to be in the same office as you and all the other agents who've been, just crushing it in, real estate. So I look forward to growing within the office. Um, I will, like I said, I will include Amanda's information in the description. And yeah, thank you so much, Amanda, for doing this interview with me. And I look forward to, doing some transactions with you.
Thank you for having me. Absolutely. Yes, I would love to work with you.